everybody, welcome back. Alright, so I have finally cracked the alcohol stove. So I really like this alcohol stove we got in our SHTF box because this is a great way to heat up whatever you need. Heat up water, for food or whatever, for cooking. But I need to come up with a good way to use it so that you could put something over it. So this is what I came up with. Now this was a Sweet Sue chicken and dumplings can. Basically, it's just one of your wider cans. Kind of like a beef stew, or this was chicken and dumplings. And so what I did was, I did put 4 holes using a church key in the bottom, and I took a drill. I still have to file it off so there's rough edges, but I took a drill, and I drilled holes in the top to allow for, proper airflow. And then on the top, and I used a safety can opener to get the ring off, and I drilled a bunch of holes in the top on that as well. And so this container should allow for enough protection from the wind when you're using it. So basically though, we got our alcohol stove and we're gonna put it in there. And the nice thing is that bring it over here, with those church key holes, it locks the alcohol stove into the bottom. Right? So we're gonna take our lid off. Now when you do use this, I do recommend you have either pliers or a multi-tool handle handy because this is going to get extremely hot. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to light our alcohol stove. Alright, as you can see, we got it burning. Now with this, right, we have our holes in the top. Put on there. As you can see, take it off, it's still burning. So we're able to use this as a... Now the thing is, the reason I recommend pliers or multi-tools is this gets extremely hot. So now we have an empty cup, and we have a bottle of water. Alright. Now before long, we're going to have boiling water. So this is good if you're in one of those situations where you need to actually sanitize water so that you can drink it. You've gotten your water from your puddle, your pond, whatever, your creek, your river, whatever the case may be. You've used a piece of cotton to filter it through, so you've gotten rid of all of the particulates in it. There's no weeds, there's no bugs, nothing in it. You have clean water. But even though it may be clean, you still have to boil it to purify it. And so we're going to use our little alcohol stove here with our disposable can. Now, if you don't have a drill, you can use a nail. Punch holes in the nail. I just use a drill because I had it, and it does keep it from damaging the structure of it. And I have used it before. As you can see, it's black, but it's not gonna be long. This water's gonna be boiling here. So right now we're at 3 minutes and 30 seconds essentially, and I can start to see the bubbles in the bottom of the cup. I'm gonna bring it a little bit closer here so you can see. Hopefully you can see. But yeah, so there's bubbles appearing in the bottom of the cup. Before long, we're gonna start to see steam come up from here, and we're gonna have some boiling water. This is critical in a survival situation. Because you might find just a bottle out there, right? And you can fill it with water. Use cotton, or if you prep properly, you have like some of the disposable coffee filters. You filter the water so you get all the crap out of it. And we're just using clean water so we can show that the project works. But I can start to see the bubbles are starting to come to the top a little bit. It's been like another minute. So, but this is a great way, and a lot of times you'll be able to find stuff like this, like cans, like on the side of the road even, because there's trash everywhere. So, but just because it's trash doesn't mean you can't be used. That's what we're doing here. We're using, something you normally throw away. And if you plan ahead, this is a great way to make this before, planning ahead. So, and then of course, we do have our the cap to our alcohol stove, and we'll use this to snuff it in a minute. But first we're going to get this water boiling. So, it's still kind of cool. It's been a couple minutes though, so I mean we have plenty of time, but it is still, I can still feel the heat coming off of that stove. I can still see the fire inside there through these holes out here. So we're still getting there. So, but you know, and the nice thing about this is because it's alcohol, so there's no carbon dioxide being produced, right? This is a clean way to cook. This is safe to use inside, but you have to make sure, because this can get extremely hot. So if you use this inside, you need to put something underneath it to prevent, you know, you can't, I would not recommend putting this on a wooden table because it's going to burn, right? You're gonna get that black ring on your wooden table because this can gets extremely hot. But this is a good way to make use of both your alcohol stove that you got from your SHTF box, or one you may make, and another can. So, and I'm not sure. Yeah, you see, you can still see the fire through the grates there. It actually comes up out of it a little bit, but because you have those holes in there, it allows it to the flame to actually touch the bottom of the cup. Yeah, there's thousands of little tiny bubbles in there where it's starting to heat up enough to boil. So we'll give it just a few more minutes here. We're like 2 minutes in. So, but you know, if you're in a survival situation, you do what you got to do, right? And so, if you got to sit here for a few minutes, now the nice thing is it is putting off a little bit of heat too. So now if you touch it, it's hot, but it's emanating heat. You can feel the heat coming off of it, and so it's nice. It'll help you keep you warm. You know, if you're in a bad situation, and the fact that it's contained like this, you're not going to put off a lot of light, so that way, you know, no one knows where you're there. So it's a pretty good situation here. It's a little bit windy and chilly out, but I can feel the heat. It's nice. But yeah, I want to come with a better way of using this alcohol stove, because you have to be able to put your container of water over the fire. And the way that it's designed, you can't just set it on there because it'll snuff it out. So, lovely day. Yeah, I can smell the inside of the can burning off, which is fine. And we're not drinking this water, to be perfectly clear. We're not drinking this water, but I can smell the inside of that can, that seal burning off. So every once in a while, I'll see a little bit of fire come out one of these bottom holes here. Right there, that was a big one. It's because of the wind. Next, what I might design is get like a number 10 can so you can build a windbreak around it. Because, yeah, that fire is really coming out the bottom there. You see, though, this definitely works. Just doing work next door, of course, while I'm recording. Yeah, the wind is kind of knocking it outside of those holes a little bit, so definitely need to put a wind brace around it. But we have accomplished the first step. We have built a container using common trash to build a it's warm. It's not hot yet, but it's warm. Now, of course, in order to make it safe, we got to get that to boil. The handle is still touchable, but if not, you know, you can always use your pliers to get it off of there. Oh shit. Water in me too. I think what I might need to do is get some pieces of metal, probably from a different can, and make a cross grade over the top. Now, because inside this works great, but in the wind like this, it definitely has some challenges. Not a very good show of how this works, but it does work. It definitely doesn't go out. Then of course when it's time to put it out, just put the cap on. Now that's going to be extremely hot in there. So one of the safety notes, whenever you do this, you have to let this cool down completely before you try putting it away. You can see the inside it's definitely burning all that crap off the inside. Now I know for a fact that alcohol burner is going to be hotter than hell because I found out the hard way. But like always, you can carefully extract it with your pliers so that air gets around it. You can see inside. You know, you should always have a multi-tool with you anyway. So, you know, some type of Gerber or something. And really, it cools off pretty fast. The wind blowing around, it does cool off pretty fast. So, now, it's not hot. It's not boiling, but it is hot. This is almost like bath water type hot. So it's going to take you a while, but we've only been here for, you know, like 10 minutes boiling it. I think in optimal conditions where it's not so windy, this would boil a lot faster. But the point is, it does work. So I don't want to bore you with too much, you know, too long of a video. But this little can stove here, it does work, and it cools off fast. Now essentially, it's hot when it comes out. Now, the alcohol stove is actually a little bit hotter than the outer rare, and even it's like touchable already in just a minute or so. So yeah, so there you are. So this is a good little thing you can make. You do want one of these wider cans, and you know you can even use this as like a wood type stove. You know, you might want to, you know, you can load stuff up in it, right? You can load your wood in there, put your top on. And then, you know, you can start it, and to open it up, you know, you just use your multi-tool, your pliers. Take your top off, you can feed more fire in there. I think I am going to make some enhancements to it, and try to come up with like a cross section, so that we can actually have just like, you know, just like an open grill. Then we can set that on there as well. Or I may just yeah, I'll do that. So, you know, there's little modifications, but as you can see, with a little just planning, and you can make, you know, just normal trash like this into something that will actually do you some good. So you just have to be careful for the rough edges. You know, there's rough edges on all of these where the drill goes through. If you use a nail, they probably wouldn't be as bad. You use pliers to flatten them out. Use a file to grind them off. But all in all, this was a. I'm glad this worked, because I tried a few other things, and I couldn't find like the right size combination to actually use the alcohol stove in. But I think that these like sous vide chicken and dumplings. There you go. You got your alcohol stove. This is a really cool. This one is. It's one of the better things I think we've gotten from the SHTF box. You know, you get your snuffer, and the nice thing is that, you know, when you're packing it away, it'll actually fit down inside of there too. So then you can pack this in there. Maybe pack something on top of it to keep it, you know, from rattling around. You know, you can set this down inside of a cover, a canteen cup or something, and then you're good to go. You can see it does burn the bottom of the cup. That's right. This is the one we got with our ReadyWise? No. Yeah, this one came with one of those mystery bags, you know, the survival bags you get. But it's a nice little cup, stainless steel, boils up nicely. But yeah, this right here. I would if you can find one that doesn't have the handle, then it might fit. It might like fit down inside of there. In fact, it would, as you can see, it would go down inside the can, and then it's almost the same size. So you could actually just pop that down in there. If it's a little bit shorter than this, you could actually put it in there, and then put the lid on top, and then take like a Ranger band or something, put it on the outside, boom, you got yourself a cook kit. Right, but that's it. Like I said, I wanted to figure out a way to get this alcohol stove to be used safely, and this is pretty safe. Yeah, you still get some fire coming out the bottom every once in a while, but I think that's mainly because of the wind. But you know, if you build like a windbreak around it, so it's down in there safely, this is gonna be a great way to cook, to boil water, to generate a little bit of heat, and you're gonna keep the light down. So if you are in a situation where you don't want to be found, this is a great way to cook undercover. Great, but that's it. Hope you like the video. Do me a favor, if it's your first time on the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up, share this video out, you know, do all that good stuff. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. I know this is the second time we've attempted to use this alcohol stove. Definitely more successful than the first time. But yeah, there you go. Just a sous vide chicken and dumplings can.